welcome back to another episode or installment or whatever you want to call it of this Slow as Molasses project here. I did have a little bit of time this week to get in and do some odds and ends. Actually, I got a lot done, just little odds and ends. I got the fenders just temporarily bolted back in so I can figure out my routing for my heater hoses. I did that on both sides, and then on this side, I got it in so I can figure out where I'm going to put my filter. So I was able to man up and cut this 4-inch U-bend in half. So I got that. So I got just in half and just kind of mocked up right now. More power. Just kind of see how everything's going to kind of fit together. So that's tonight. I'm going to work on that, and I'm also going to work on getting the ECM mounted. I was able to go get that flashed and get a bass tune put in it. So it's good to go. Got my brackets painted. I got my bracket here for my fuse panel painted. My pedal is actually installed and wired permanently. So is my gas cap over there, and the wires going up for the dome line. Everything's just kind of been knocking out just some piddly stuff. So tonight I went and got a massive amount of bolts. That's just a little bit of what's left. So that I can start bolting all this stuff down, get the tack bolted down, get the ECM bolted down, get the fuse panel bolted down so I can put the seat back in. I do need to do the ground underneath there. Right now I just have it with a Tech screw underneath the carpet right about there, the ground for the ECM here. So it runs kind of through this bundle of wires and goes that way. But I'm going to go ahead and put a bolt in that. I got some 1/4-inch bolts. Also got my ground lines for the motor. They came in, so I got some bolts for those. So I've got on either side of the motor, I've got the 2 4-gauge braids that goes from where the stock AC compressor bracket mounts. So I'm going from there, and I'm going to go to the underside of the frame right here. And then that'll, of course, have the battery cable that goes up to the battery. Same thing on the driver's side here. So I've got, there's a threaded boss right there. So I've got that wire is going to come across to the frame rail right there. And then I've also got the all the grounds for all the injectors and the coil packs to the back of the head there. So then that's going to come off with the stock LS ground cable, that one that's like 18 inches long. So it's going to come off of that head and go somewhere over here, somewhere I can hide it. I'm probably going to do it to the cab. The cab, the core support, and the bed are all grounded to the frame with, I got 6-gauge grounding straps on them. But I really wanted to make sure that the motor was grounded. So I've got 2 4-gauges on it, plus I don't know what that is back there, an 8-gauge, I don't know what it is, but it's going to go somewhere to the cab so the cab gets plenty of connection for ground, because you can't have too many grounds. So that's about it. So today it's going to be pretty much focused on bolting all that stuff down. I don't have anybody here to help me put the seat back in, so that won't go back in today, but I'm going to try working on this and figure out this bend. I'm going to try to do it without welding, just because I've got the mass air sensor here. I ordered the wrong fitting. I did a 4-inch to a 3 3/4, and I did a 4/4. Well, this thing it's like 3 7/8 or something like that. So it's smushed up. You can see the hump here. This smushed up the 4-inch coupler. So I bought another 4 to 3 3/4. That's a mouthful. So that'll be here actually on Monday, so I can finish this. But I'm thinking about trying to make that transition happen. So this is going to go about here or so, which actually gets it a pretty good distance away from the throttle body. I know in stock form they're clear over here, but I think I'm going to put it, right in there, basically so that I'm going to have a tab come off of this mount right here that goes and holds it. Because right now, I've got a hump hose on there, so it'll flop around a little bit, which is fine. But I'm going to go ahead and mount it there so that it can support everything that goes down there as well. So, but that's pretty much it. So I'm kind of on the downhill slide here. I did take my booster bracket home, and I got it blasted and painted. It's actually curing right now at home. I was able to do that yesterday. I got all new line locks for that, just because I'm not a fan of split locks. But so I got nylocks on all those. I don't know, I just went crazy at the store today. Oh, this is also kind of cool here. So I'm digging through an old project of mine. Actually, when I was, it's been a while now, but it was probably 15 years ago, I had a Honda Civic hatchback that I had in college. Excuse me. That is It was just a college car, just an Econo box. And, after I got to college, the motor swaps are a big thing. So I put a different motor in it, yada, yada, yada. I ended up building a turbo kit for it. Well, and then a neighbor lady, long story short, ran a stop sign, totaled it out. But, that was a sucky day that it was a weird deal that somehow I was to blame even though she ran a stoplight. But anyway, neither here nor there. But anyway, so when I tore that car down, I had a bunch of stuff just sitting around from it. And then I actually found this here clip, which is pretty cool, that actually holds my steam vent line really nicely. So anyway, funny side story. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I am going to just kind of start plugging away at this stuff because my to-do list is getting shorter and shorter. So we are close to firing. So these are going to come back out because these are going to go to the powder coater. I'm going to weld all these holes up. But I kind of was thinking about putting some sort of a bracket or something to hold these. I don't know what I'm going to do yet because I kind of want them to be supported so that all the load of this hose is not hanging out on these nipples on the end of the heater core there. But anyway, I'm just rambling, so I'm going to get to work now. All right, the interior is finally done with wiring. The only thing I have left to do in here is obviously put the seat back in, adjust the brake pedal, the light switch there, and finish installing the column. So, because I have to drop that column down to get to the brake pedal switch, or the brake light switch, I should say. That's what those wires are hanging down over there. But everything's in over here. Everything worked out perfect. So I got everything bolted in. This thing is sturdy. There's not going anywhere. I even labeled all the fuses. There it goes. Yep. So I kind of a nerd like that. So everything's in. I cleaned it, vacuumed it, bolted the sill plate in over there. Tex bolted down. OBD2's bolted down. Just cleaned it. Finally, I've been waiting for this for a long time. So we're done in here, other than that stuff over there. So now I'm going to get over to the front and start working on that intake tube, cold air intake, whatever you want to call it, to make it actually work so it doesn't suck crazy hot air. Okay, on this intake, the way I kind of do it is I know where I kind of want my filter to be. So I've got, I kind of did this a little off camera to kind of get an idea so I didn't look like a complete idiot. And I'm not a fabricator, and I'm sure there's guys that are fabricators going to look at this and think this is a dumb idea, but the way I do is I kind of just hold it in here and just kind of get the angle. So I know that I kind of want it to go this way a little bit and down. So what I've done here is I kind of lined it up kind of where I want it to go and then just drew a tick mark on it, and then I took some tape and wrapped it around it towards the radius so that it would be a square cut so we don't have any funky cuts there. So that's what this is here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make my first cut on this side of the tape here and see where that lands us. That gets us to the right angle here. I'm not going to go any steeper this way, so I'm not too worried about cutting too much off. And even if I do, I can weld it back on. So not the end of the world. So that's how I kind of do it. I just kind of eyeball it. All right, so as it turns out, that cut was perfect. Honestly, in all my years of making these things, I've never had one perfect on a gut go. So now I've got it here. It's hanging a little low because I've got that hump hose on there, on the throttle by there. So what I'm going to do now is I know how long this filter is. I know where I want it to sit. So what I can do is I can mark where I want to cut it off here. So I can put my filter on. And then I know that I want to put my MAF sensor here so I can measure and make cuts here and here so that I can put the MAF sensor in the middle, and then I'll make a bracket here that just pops up. I know it sounds easy, but this is actually amazingly easy. So I haven't discussed any of this, and I realized that after I filmed it earlier that what I ended up doing was I bought just a 4-inch mandrel bend. It was a U-bend from Summit Racing. It was like $35, I think, $34, something like that for the 4-inch. And then I bought these couplers, and I'll drop a link to all this in the description below, but I bought these couplers on eBay. It's a Chinese company. I know it's an American truck, but sometimes, this is just, there's no pressure in here. This is all vacuum, but I still wanted to use the silicone couplers, and some of the cheaper couplers out there are actually made from PVC, and I kind of want to stay away from that just from longevity purposes. This works great. So I bought a 4-inch hump hose, a 4-inch coupler, and one 3 3/4 to 4-inch coupler, all with T-bolts on eBay, shipped to my door, $22. I can't even buy T-bolts. I have a supplier. I buy lots and lots. I mean, probably close to $100,000 in bolts a year for work, and I can't buy T-bolts as cheap as these guys are selling them. You know, they're all stainless. Checked them out with a magnet. They do have a zinc-plated T-bolt in there. Does have nylox. I mean, it's other than the only thing I would have changed was maybe put a stainless bolt here. But honestly, this thing's never going to drive in the rain, so it doesn't matter. So for $22 or $24 or whatever it was shipped to my door, I cannot complain. Now, I did have to buy one more coupler for the MAF sensor. Talked about that earlier, but so that's another $4 or $5 shipped to my door. So, and then I've got a filter. I bought a Summit brand filter, which is, I'm betting, is made by K&N. I think I paid like $20 for that. So this whole intake is very inexpensive. Does exactly what I want. Minimal fab work. I'll have to do a little bit here to put that tab on there, but that's no big deal. But yeah, that's it. So that's kind of it. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that, cut that off, put that on there, and then figure out where I'm going to put my MAF sensor. All right, so that's it. Pretty easy peasy. There wasn't a whole lot to it. I apologize for not videotaping, but I ended up going back and forth several times and cutting this just a little bit short, a little bit short, a little bit shorter, just to get the filter exactly where I wanted it. So that worked out perfect. So that's going to get some nice air over here in that corner of the engine bay. So now I'm going to work on trying to figure out where I want to put my MAF sensor. Now the problem is I don't have my last clamp or my silicone coupler yet, so I may have to wait on that because I don't know how big it's going to be. I have one of them, but it really doesn't help me out a whole lot. So I'm gonna see if I can't locate it without it. If not, it's going to wait until next time. So let me go ahead and get the everything set up and see what we can figure out. All right, so I got it located. I am going to wait until I get that coupler just to make sure before I make this cut here. This here, the yellow marks are actually where the center line of the MAF sensor. I have to make a cut here and a cut here. My couplers go to here and here. So that'll work out perfect. So it leaves a nice little spot for me to put a bracket down here. So I'm real happy about that. So I'm going to wait and make that bracket until I get everything cut and everything put back together and everything leveled back out to make sure that everything is where I want it before I make that bracket. But it's basically just going to be a little bracket that probably comes off here and just goes down. It's a little flat bracket right down like that. So kind of makes... everything's kind of in line here, so there's a little bit of a gap, so I'll have to make up a couple bends in or something like that, but nothing big. But that turned out really well. So I think I'm going to call it a day for today. So I got quite a bit done. A lot of it was off camera, but intake is 95% done. I'll make those cuts. Then I'm going to paint that thing. I think I'm going to use this same wrinkle paint here, this VHT wrinkle paint, because that stuff it's slicker than donut grease. I like how it looks, so I'm going to go ahead and do that whole thing. And that's about it. So I think at this point, what I've got left here is I got to drop the tank, check one fitting before I put a summoned order in for my fuel lines. I got the transmission line stuff all lined out. I do need to climb under there and make sure that the lines I got the lines from this transmission that came from the truck that transmission came out of. It was like I don't even know what it was out of. It was whatever's bigger than 1 ton. I don't know if they call them 2 tons. I don't know what they call them. I don't know the nomenclature, but so it's completely different than a standard, 1 ton or 3/4 ton truck or even a half ton that came with this motor. So I need to make sure that they kind of will route somewhat decently up this frame rail over here because I'm going to run hardline all the way up as far as I can. Use a compression fitting to convert over to AN and then put my AN fittings on the transmission over here. That should be it. Cut those off, and that should be it. It's all piddly stuff. I got to put the brake booster back in, run the brake lines, tighten up those brake lines, put fluid in the rear diff, fluids in the motor. Got to go to order a battery. I'm actually waiting I set up an account with O'Reilly to see if I can't buy. They had an AC Delco battery for $120 with a side post on it. It had like a 36-month warranty or something like that. Sold. It kind of keeps with the theme of GM, so I'm waiting for that. I think that's about it. So again, I appreciate everybody watching. I had a lot of comments lately, and I appreciate all those. A lot of subscribers coming in too. I really appreciate all those. I'm glad that people enjoy watching what I'm doing. So apparently there's a lot of people out there that love these trucks and like a boring guy talking about these trucks and working on them. So anyway, appreciate every one of you. Keep liking and subscribing if you'd like to. Share with your friends. I'd love to get the word out there. So we're starting to kind of get some traction finally. Kind of got on board with a couple other YouTubers. We're kind of helping each other out. So Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.